Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akshit Raman, and today I'm going to take you through my research proposal plan. First, I'd like to start with the title. Title of my investigation is The Effects of Support on Intrinsic Motivation that Influence Adults with Set Occupations Desire to Achieve. Essentially meaning that support from individuals helps increase intrinsic motivation that influences adults with a set desire to achieve. Now, background-wise, let me start off with a definition of intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is defined as the partaking in activity for its inherent satisfaction, rather than for some separable consequence. In other words, a person who is intrinsically motivated, when he or she partakes in an activity, she does it for the challenge or the fun of it, as opposed to wanting some kind of external product or reward. The topic area that the study being conducted in this proposal plan is being conducted under is the effects of intrinsic motivation and its influence on achievement or success, whether that be increased job or academic performance, goal attainment, or skill/mastery. This topic area is extremely important to society as the definitive answer to what truly motivates a human to complete anything at all is extremely highly sought after. In fact, it is one of the most important things we can achieve as a society. Think about it logically. If the definitive answer is discovered, it would enable increased productivity of the workforce, essentially leading to increase in products quality and quantity without the decrease in job satisfaction, thereby increasing the economic standing of society as a whole, which is a really, really good advantage. Now, recent studies associated with this topic include Amna Yusuf's investigation into effects of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation on task and contextual performances. In this study, questionnaires on enjoyment and challenge of each job provided to Pakistani doctors and university teachers. Results showed that the strategies revolved around increasing extrinsic motivation were not as effective as strategies aimed at increasing intrinsic motivation. Strengths of the study include the use of inferential statistics, which make it much more advantageous the study to do, and weaknesses include bias, as evaluation was done by participants. Another study done more recently by Mega Herlenbach looked at the effect of intrinsic motivation on mental fatigue using physiological factors such as heart rate monitors and eye tracking systems. The results indicated showed that individuals would invest more effort in tasks they are intrinsically motivated by than extrinsically. This shows from both of these studies that intrinsic motivation is a key factor in humans wanting to do anything at all in society. Strengths in this include use of several physiological measurements which have actual quantitative results. However, limitations include the lack of psychological experiments. Finally, another study conducted by John Tikothere looked at intrinsic and extrinsic motivation on text comprehension by children, results in identification that combination of both types of motivation is when using one individually. Essentially, the combination of intrinsic and extrinsic is much better than them both individually. Strengths include the use of a large sample size. It was a large sample size of children. However, limitations include the use of two specific types of children, which were US and Chinese students. These could cause results to vary different. This could cause results to vary vastly because differing ethnicities might have different factors that influence them That could be genetic factors or the environment they're in. The literature gap. Now, let me go on to the literature gap. The literature gap. While research has been conducted into comparison combination of effects of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, there is still research to be done on effects of other variables on intrinsic motivation itself, like support from individuals. Any that's including any other variables, like extraneous variables that could impact intrinsic motivation. This is important because investigation needs to occur on what can increase the intrinsic motivation in individuals to better increase their productivity and lifestyle. Like thinking about it logically, that if we're able to find what truly motivates someone, as I mentioned back in the background, then it would be extremely beneficial for society because increasing productivity, less job satisfaction leads to a better society. Now, specifically using this gap, my aim for the study is to examine the effect support from individuals can have on intrinsic motivation that influences adults with set occupations' desire to achieve. I'm now focusing more on the desire as opposed to like achievement as a basis. as opposed to the as shown in the topic summary assignment. And my hypothesis it is that it is hypothesized that the study will indicate adults with set occupations who receive support from other individuals will have increased intrinsic motivation, leading to a greater desire to achieve than those who do not receive support from other individuals, as measured by amounts of hours each group uses productively. Now, in my study, I will be conducting this measurement. Essentially, what I'm saying in this hypothesis is that adults with set occupations who receive support will have been nurtured better, therefore leading to them wanting to commit to a task and do it much better, as opposed to someone who hasn't gotten that support from another individual. That's essentially what I'm looking at, the effect of support on intrinsic motivation in individuals and whether it will help them in their desire to achieve, as opposed to just to achieve, ability to achieve. Because ability to achieve is a very closed kind of area. However, desire to achieve is much more broad, which can be explored more in depth. As you can see, my references are down there, and thank you for listening.